Hey, welcome to Breakdown, where we talk SEC and Big Ten. JJ,
Dad.
SEC and Big Ten, how you like them?
I like them. They seem to be the most financially stable conferences right now. Big Ten's won the last two championships, but before
But you're
that,
talking football.
in football, in
Okay.
football. If we talk in baseball, it's more than that, right?
And our basketball. But JJ,
Yeah, they won one in basketball too.
can you feel it?
Can I feel what?
Something is blowing in the wind. You know what it is? It's
Smell from the paper mill in
no,
Bogaloo?
no, no, no,
What
no.
is it?
It's change.
Change is coming.
A changing up the guard for the
Yeah.
football dominance in football.
Okay.
It
So
used to be the SEC, but can you feel that change coming?
can I feel the change coming? Well, I feel like we felt it the past couple of years, honestly.
Okay, well, we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about the conferences, like which one is better, and such and such. Your take on the Big Ten SEC. We're talking football now, strictly football.
Yeah, I mean, well, they dominate the TV ratings, both of those, and they dominate the money. The SEC has done a excellent job of winning on the field a large part. Ever since Auburn went undefeated and got shut out of the championship game in 2004,
Yeah,
they kind of
13-0.
they kind of vowed to make sure that nothing like that ever happened again, and they've kept that promise. But the Big Ten has expanded. They went out and got Oregon, who was number one for a large portion of last year, and they're a contender. USC is a theoretical contender, guess at this point.
Well, let's just talk about the change.
Let's talk about the change.
Okay, in 23 and 24, in the football championship game, guess what major conference had to watch it on TV?
23 and 24.
Yeah, a major conference.
Man, I had to watch it on them. You must be talking about Conference USA.
Did not have a participant.
Conference USA didn't have
A major conference. The SEC, JJ.
SEC.
The dynasty has ended.
Yeah, I mean,
2023, 2024. They on the sideline watching Michigan. Who did Michigan beat in 23?
well, that former Pac-12, now Big Ten school, Washington,
Okay.
whose
And
coach went to Alabama.
in 2024, who did Ohio State beat?
I beat that team that everyone keeps on trying to get to join the Big Ten in down out there in South Bend. Definitely in Big Ten territory. Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Notre Dame. JJ, you talk about that Notre Dame. I'm going to hit you up. If the Big Ten were to decide to do an unequal revenue sharing, i.e., give Notre Dame more than an equal share, would Notre Dame be like more apt to join the Big Ten?
No, I don't see them joining in any conference for any reason at this point. I mean,
Okay.
unless it would disadvantage them in the playoffs, but I don't think that they're in that situation.
Okay.
So I don't think so. I think that they got $27 million that they didn't have to share with anyone. Ohio State won the championship, but they had to distribute a lot more of that money. They didn't get to see nearly as much money as Notre Dame did.
Okay, but there are still some advantages to being in the conference because you're talking football. Their basketball team didn't make that much, and other things.
And their
But
basketball team is in the conference.
true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. JJ,
Yeah.
where are we going? What key things you want to hit on today?
Just wanted to talk about some of the teams that I think that might be contenders in the SEC and some of the reasons why the SEC will regain their throne
Ooh.
atop the mountain of college football at the end of the year.
Let's go. Let's go because I'm not convinced of that. Let's go.
Yeah, much has been made about the SEC's dominance being gone since Saban's not around any longer, and he was the rising tide that lifted all boats at one point in time. But I think that the train that they have going is the momentum is just too aligned. The recruiting is still SEC dominant. If you look at the top 25, it's still more SEC teams than any other conference. Number one team in the country is Texas. which is so weird to say that them as a SEC school still. But I guess that's just an adjustment.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question though.
Yeah.
High school recruiting.
Yes.
If you were to take high school recruiting versus transfer portal versus the players you get to keep that don't transfer, which is more important?
I think for different schools, it's a different answer. I think for Dion, it's the transfer portal. I think for Michigan, there's a player development program. I think player retention was most important. And I think programs, institutions like Alabama, I think they're still factories under Nick Saban. I think getting the top class is important. Same thing with Ohio State. They got arguably the best freshman in the country last year, that wide receiver. Arguably, the best wide receiver, in the entire country. He's not eligible to come out, but Jeremiah Smith, I think him just being there shows his importance as well.
I understand, and that's a recruiting win right there. But this is me. I think the number of freshmen that's going to make huge impacts on the teams is going to be minimal. The number of freshmen versus the number of transfer guys that's going to be making huge impacts on the team. But JJ, you said that the SEC is going to regain their dominance.
I do think so. Yeah.
And you said one because of recruiting. What other reason give you hope for the SEC to regain their dominance?
Well, the transfer portal that you speak of, SEC is no slouch in that. I think Texas Tech might have had the best transfer portal class.
That's what
they're throwing money out there in Lubbock. But the SEC had plenty of great transfers. You got Barian Brown. Well, he stayed in conference. He went from Kentucky to LSU. But, that's a dynamic weapon for Garrett Nusmire to throw to. You have, obviously, the quarterback at Oklahoma, John Mateer, the number one transfer player in the country.
And some say the number one quarterback in the country.
Yeah,
Athlon Sports lists number one quarterback.
And some say the number one gambling quarterback in the country too.
That's a different story.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. But yeah, no, you have plenty of money in states like Texas and Oklahoma and Alabama that they're willing to throw that around to keep their players and to get them.
Michigan has plenty of money. Ohio State has plenty of money.
Yeah, and that Ohio State was a blend of all three of those things. They got the transfer portal with their quarterback, Will Howard. They retained, Jack Campbell and all of those guys that decided, Emeka Ibuka, all those guys who said we wanted to come back for more.
They got the safety from Alabama.
And then they recruited, that's another transfer portal win, Caleb Downs. Yeah. And then they recruited the number one player at wide receiver, Jeremiah Smith. So I think the best programs win at all three levels.
Okay.
This is how I look at it.
Tell me some teams in the SEC that you think going to make some noise. And then I'm going to tell you something why I think the Big Ten is going to maintain their dominance. And I'll give you some teams. But let's talk SEC. Give me some teams in the SEC and tell me why.
Yeah, I think Texas coming back at number one. They're an obvious pick.
Okay. They're preseason number one. Can I tell you this?
What?
They got a game August 30th in Columbus, Ohio.
They do.
Texas is a 2.5-point underdog in that game.
Yeah,
and they're number one in the country.
Number one in the country, but
2.5-point underdog.
Yeah, so which means on a neutral field, Texas would be favored.
Okay, I'm sorry for interrupting you like that, but go ahead.
Yeah, Georgia. Year in and year out, they're going to have a stout defense, and they're going to send players to the Philadelphia Eagles. That's what Georgia does.
Yeah, that's true. No, and they're preseason number 5.
They're preseason number 5. The only question mark is their quarterback. It's a pretty big question mark. He looked okay, but he looked like a lot. He had a lot of... He looked rough around the edges.
He did not look okay against Notre Dame.
Yeah.
To me, last year.
Yeah.
He came in when Beck got injured right before halftime, and... Man, he just didn't look it up to me. That's my take.
Yeah, I can't imagine he was getting too many reps with the ones before that, and I think him with the whole offseason. I know he was a 5-star guy coming in, so we'll have to just wait and see on him. But everything around him is set up for him to be successful.
Okay.
So if he can't get it done, maybe there's a guy behind him that can. Stetson Bennett was the 5th string quarterback No, he was
At
sixth
one point
at
in
one point.
time,
He was
yeah.
the sixth string quarterback. So you never know. I do know that Kirby Smart's going to have a defense, and they'll carry that wherever he goes. So I like Georgia, but I don't want to spend too much time on them. I don't think they're gonna be a true contender for a championship.
Okay.
Alabama just named their quarterback Ty Simpson. He's the starter.
Now Alabama's the preseason number 8.
Yeah, preseason number 8 team in the country. They really killed it in the transfer portal and in recruiting. They got the 18-year-old freshman Ryan Williams. Sophomore.
Yes.
Yeah,
He was 17 years old last year.
17-year-old, yeah.
If you didn't remember.
This entire year, he'll be 18-year-old sophomore. Second best freshman wide receiver last year. He's dynamic. He's a vertical threat. We'll see if they can diversify his routes now that he's a little bit more polished. They're gonna have to, because Ty Simpson obviously isn't gonna bring the same dynamic that Jalen Milroe did with his legs.
That's true.
But so he's gonna have to be able to do more with his arm. LSU is everyone's talking about LSU. Are they a sleeper? Are they like the team that no one's talking about? Because they do have a 5-star quarterback, Garrett Nusmire, guy who could potentially go number 1 overall in the country. You have
LSU has been producing quarterbacks, JJ. If you want to go Daniels and now.
Well, they're wide receiver, too. I mean, that with Malik Neighbors and
That's true.
Odell Beckham and Brian Thomas, the guy out there in Jacksonville. They produce wide receivers like nobody's business either. So
I think their season's going to go how their first game of the season goes against Clemson.
Well, Ryan Kelly hasn't won one of those yet.
He's 0-3 at LSU in the first game of the season.
Clemson's number 4 in the country, and with a very, very much second best Heisman odds, right after Arch Manning, I think, with their quarterback Cade Klubnik. Okay. So we'll see how that goes. But if they get that win under their belt, I think that's gonna bode well for that's gonna be a good omen for their season. But I love their transfer from Kentucky, Barry Brown. He's a great kickoff returner, a great guy with the ball in his hands. You can get him in space. I think Brian Kelly's the guy that will design up plays for him. I think he's gonna break out this year.
We'll see.
Then we pivot to South Carolina. Obviously, Lenora Sellers. He's a guy that could also go number 1 in the draft. He could, he's a Heisman hopeful. He said he got offered $8 million
to leave
to transfer from South Carolina.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder who made that phone call.
Hey, it's just crazy, but I can't. My mind won't wrap around that because it's so new.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Pretty soon, a lot of quarterbacks will get that kind of money. Maybe.
Yeah,
I wonder how much South Carolina's paying.
Yeah, he's making millions. I know he's doing okay. I know that. I know he's doing just more than okay. Unfortunately, our South Carolina lost a lot on the defensive line. That they lost a couple of dynamic guys. They did retain the freshman, Dylan. What's his name? But
preseason South Carolina is 13th.
They are 13th though. So even though, and this is the first time in 10 years that they're ranked in the top 25 at all. So
good for them.
Yeah, I mean,
What do you think of their coach? And is he as good as his dad?
Well, I think it's hard to be as good as his dad, and now, just I think logistics make it harder just in today's game, especially at South Carolina. Okay. I think he's a good coach, though. I do think he's a balanced coach. I think he's had good offenses, good defenses. I do think that he's a good coach, and he hasn't been on the hot seat in a while.
I think he's a good coach. I think he's not that great with the media, though.
Yeah, but honestly,
you don't have to be.
You don't have to be. Everybody's not going to be Spurrier.
Yeah.
I think it's funny. I think him and his little rivalry with Mark Stoops in Kentucky is funny, and
that's true.
And then him with his rivalry with Clemson. I don't know. He's a funny guy.
He's supposed to have a rivalry with Clemson. That's an in-state school, so
that's true.
And they play each other the last game of the season every year. It's just like Ohio State and Michigan State. Those two coaches didn't care that much. I mean, Ohio State and Michigan.
Yeah.
Those two coaches didn't care that much for each other.
That's true. He just takes it to another level, though, because he's just an interesting character. But I do like them because of their superstar quarterbacks. Speaking of superstar quarterbacks, Florida is ranked 15th in the country because of one man, DJ Lagway, who really came on last year. His health has been a question mark, though. We don't know how he's if he's going to be ready to start the season. Have you heard any updates on that?
I have not.
I do know that if he's out, that schedule is brutal in Florida.
Florida's schedule was brutal last year, and they shocked.
Yeah,
I think they won like 6 or 7 games.
yeah, and I think that was a large part because of the freshman phenom.
Okay.
But yeah, I think South Carolina is a dynamic team or not South Carolina. I think Florida is a team that, if they have dynamic quarterback DJ Lagway, I think,
they're number 15 in preseason.
Yeah, they are 15.
They're 15.
Then we go to the number 18th team in the country, Oklahoma.
Preseason Oklahoma.
They got the number 1 transfer in the country, John Mateer. We already talked about him from Washington State. People really, really like him. There's a lot of guys that say think he's better than Cam Ward, the guy that he, took over. He succeeded at Washington State under center.
Yeah.
Last year he did not play well against the good teams. He put up all his numbers against the group of 5 teams. His power 4, power 5 team opponents, he did not play well against. But he's been apparently looking really good in practice, and like a lot of people aren't worried about that.
I've seen where he was rated the number 1 quarterback in the 25 season.
Yeah.
The pre-ranking had him number 1 quarterback.
The SEC has a lot of those this year.
Who was number 2?
Arch Manning.
Now, from the one that I read, LSU quarterback
Garrett Nusmire.
Yeah, Garrett Nusmire.
There's a lot of options. I mean, between the Norris Sellers, DJ Lagway, the SEC. I think that's one of the reasons why I think the SEC is going to be so different this year. Is the quarterbacks.
And I hear what you're saying, but when I get to talk about the Big Ten, I'm going to tell you why I think it's going to be the Big Ten. But go ahead.
And those are like the true contenders. From there, you have Texas A&M. Mike Elko is going in his second year. Ole Miss, I think they have a schedule that they could win 9 games, but I think it would be a very hollow 9 games. I think they lost first round quarterback in Jackson Dart. Yeah, there's a lot but they're ranked 21st in the country, and Texas A&M is ranked 19th.
Ole Miss has a transfer quarterback, JJ, from the team that won. I don't know if it's NAIA, but I'm just going to say Fair State.
Oh yeah,
their quarterback. What is they won some division football.
Division 2 is what.
Okay, Division 2. They won that championship, and now their quarterback is going from Fair State to Oxford, Mississippi. Ole Miss.
Now, I'm sure it'll be just a slight culture shock. Temperature will be just a bit different. That could have been Kirk Cousins. Before Michigan State offered him, the only other offer he really had was to go to Fair State.
Yeah, I did not know that.
You're gonna go to be a dentist at Fair State, major in pre-dental or something like that.
Wow, amazing.
At Fair State, yeah.
Amazing.
Then Michigan State came along, so good for the Bulldogs.
Well, bad for the Fair State Bulldogs. Bad for them.
Yeah.
They losing their quarterback, but good for the Mississippi Ole Miss Bulldogs.
Well, no, the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Bad for them.
Oh, I'm so confused right now.
Ole Miss are the Dixie Rebels or the Black Bears.
You're right.
I don't know.
I don't know why I was confused.
But I don't really, I don't really see Ole Miss as a true playoff contender this year.
Okay.
Neither with Tennessee after losing Nico Iamaleava.
Okay.
But Tennessee is ranked 24th.
Okay, so I'm going to question you on Tennessee.
Yeah.
Why do you not see them as being a contender?
Apparently, the quarterback has been looking pretty bad. Like
the transfer from UCLA.
Yeah, they basically did a 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah.
And people are talking about how a true freshman might beat him out. Which.
Wow, man.
If
that happened, I'm gonna lose a lot of faith in Tennessee.
Yeah, I think that could be a bit of an issue. I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's probably the reason I have not that much faith in them. But they're still ranked 24th.
And no, and before they started preseason and everything, they were talking about the Tennessee not dropping that much because of the quarterback. What's the quarterback name? Can't even think his name. But anyway, I'm surprised that he's not going to be starting.
Well, he might be starting. I mean, they just said he's looked bad. It might be overblown. I'm not sure what.
And you can look bad one day, and then come back out and tear the thing up the rest of the season.
Yeah, Johnny Manziel looked very bad throughout practice. He was in the practice player, then he went out and won the Heisman. So
What would AI say about that?
he said he loves practice, and he puts as much effort into that as he
Practice.
does into every single game.
We are talking about practice, right? Okay, JJ. I'm sorry. I just can't help it. I just love AI. He's one of my favorite basketball players of all time.
He definitely put his heart out there.
Okay.
But yeah, and those are the ranked teams in the SEC.
Okay.
Arkansas isn't ranked, but they have a veteran quarterback that's going to be in a year or two in a dynamic play caller system, Taylor Green.
Gonna be dynamite.
So they can play spoiler as well. But I just feel like the SEC has the quarterbacks this year. I think they're seasoned. I think Garrett Nusmire is a year older. I think DJ Lagway. I think Lenore Sellers was a year away last year. I think DJ Lagway was a year away last year. I think
they got the quarterback. They got the previous year. The SEC in 24. Who had the better quarterbacks, the Big Ten or the SEC?
In 2024, Miami had the best quarterback, Cam Ward. But yeah, that's a close one. I think Will Howard was a good college quarterback. He didn't get drafted the 5th, 6th round in the NFL. Drew Allard, I think, was a good quarterback. I think he would have gotten drafted in the 1st round. Michigan quarterback roles are well documented. Dylan Gabriel was a Heisman finalist. He was a 3rd round pick. I think last year the Big Ten had better quarterbacks.
Okay. Well, JJ, I'm gonna give it to you that this year the SEC has better quarterbacks. Big Ten had better quarterbacks last year. They had a better season last year than the SEC. But even though this year the SEC has better quarterbacks, a lot of football games are won and lost on the line, offensive line and defensive line.
You're right about that.
When I start talking offensive line, I'm going to talk the number 1 preseason offensive line, Penn State Nittany Lions. Not only are they number 1 offensive line, they're number 4 defensive line.
That's the versatility that you like to hear about.
And their quarterback, this is his 4th year.
Experienced quarterback, skilled line play. It sounds like the recipe that propelled Ohio State and Michigan to championships 2 years prior.
Is this the year that Franklin gets that monkey off his back?
Well, they said Bobby Bowden could never win it until he did. Maybe this is the year that everyone says James Franklin can't win it. Maybe this is the year that he does.
Well, he has the formula.
He does have the formula.
He has the formula. You got experienced quarterback, defensive line, offensive line, running backs. He's rated number 2 in the country behind Texas.
In the closest AP poll since 1998.
Yeah.
Over a quarter of a century since it was that close. So.
Yeah.
No excuses this year for James Franklin.
I don't know the basis for Texas being rated number 1 over Penn State.
They return a lot. I think Texas returns a lot. They had attack the transfer portal at wide receiver. They have that running back coming back. I think the people honestly it comes down to the coaching. I think the coaches believe in Sark more than they believe in James Franklin at this point.
Could be. That could be. And but the Big Ten, JJ, in addition to Penn State being number 2, the reigning champions, Ohio State, preseason number 3. I mean, they lost the quarterback. They still got.
Might have upgraded from the quarterback that they lost.
That's true. And they lost the running backs as well.
Yeah, Travion Henderson
Two
and Quinton Junkins, 2 second-round picks.
Yeah.
One looked really dynamic.
But, you cannot sleep on Ohio State because they don't rebuild, they reload.
They also lost their leading pass catcher in the history of their school. Emeka Abuka.
Okay, but the guy they got still there is...
Jeremiah. Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Same thing with Cardinal Tate. He's not a bad Robin to...
Okay. Yeah, so you got Penn State, Ohio State. They're preseason 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then preseason 7 is Oregon, JJ. Preseason, after that come Illinois. Illinois is a team. Don't sleep on Illinois, JJ.
They might have the best quarterback in the conference, Luke Altmaier.
I was gonna say they do have a really good quarterback. I'm not sure he's better than Penn State quarterback.
I think he played better than Drew Aller last year, but
Okay. Indiana got in a quarterback from
Cal.
Yeah, from Cal.
Yeah, 6'5", Francisco something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, and I'm gonna keep mine brief to the point. I'm saying defensive line and offensive line are going to propel the Big Ten to the next level. Penn State, their defensive line was number 4. Michigan's number 5. Ohio State, these are all preseason. Ohio State was preseason 11th in the defensive line. Iowa preseason 12 in the defensive line. Oregon preseason 15 in the defensive line. And back to the offensive line, Iowa's preseason number 8. Penn State preseason number 1. Ohio State preseason number 10. They don't have the quarterbacks that the SEC has.
No.
But they have the defense. So they say offense wins games, defense wins championships. Big Ten, 3P, Penn State. That's my take, JJ.
All right. Well, whose side are you on? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know who you think is going to win, have a better year, the SEC or the Big Ten.
Now, would you listen to this Southerner who's favoring the Big Ten, or obviously the Northerner who knows what he's talking about as it pertains to the SEC?
Hey, I'm not biased. I mean,
Objective
even though I said Penn State's going to beat the Razorbacks in the championship game, I mean, I should have said the Razorbacks. I don't know if I said what they're going to play. I still think it's going to be a good game, a good season. W. Are you ready? You got some more? What else you got to say before you go?
I don't got nothing else to say. I think my case has been rested.
Okay, I want to know. I want at least 10 people to tell us who's going to have a better year this year, the SEC or the Big Ten. And then once we go from 10, we'll go to 100. But WPS, Woo Pig Suey. JJ, what you got?
Who they?
Time to get out of Dodge, man.